Hello, 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 my collectors, my loves, my angels. How are you doing today? I want to do a reading for you tonight, about people who may have misunderstood you, misjudged you, labeled you in some type of way. I feel like collective, a lot of times we could be misunderstood. Our kindness get taken for granted. People assume you're naive. You're too kind, you're too sweet. That makes you gullible. You're too forgiving, you're too loving. That makes you an easy mark. I think that someone really underestimated your strength. They thought they could take advantage, get over on you because you weren't confrontational. You didn't start arguments, you didn't constantly complain, you weren't rah-rah and toxic and people. But I think that people are starting to realize, one-on-one, when I say this, that they misjudged you. They mistook you. They definitely misunderstood you, 111. And what they set out, how they hurt you, what they did to break you, actually made you stronger. And now they see your strength, your boundaries. So I'm going to look at some things that people may have done to upset you, to try to break you, to try to destroy you, to try to get you out of that God's light and into that toxic energy. And how has it made you stronger? So let's tap into that now. My God, Angel, I ask that you protect me as I do this read, and protect the collective, my friends, my family, as we go on our spiritual journey. I ask that you allow me to see the unseen, hear the unheard, tap into the emotions of the person on the collective mind, to put words to the feelings that they held back and withheld from the collective. Anyone needs to hear this message, I ask that you guide them to this channel to receive this message. What can you tell me about the person on collective's mind? How were they misunderstood? Who misunderstood them? Who prejudged them? What went on? You have the King of Pentacles here, collective. You could have met someone who was a businessman, a CEO, entrepreneur, self-employed, very successful, somebody who considers himself just be wealthy, have money in the bank, or they consider themselves to be successful on their own. They can provide for themselves, even feel like they can provide for you. They help people out in need. However, this person could have had a lot of ego, a lot of pride, all right? Could have been self-employed. Somebody actually could have, like pets, 303, when I say that, dogs, Somebody who sits up on their throne. They want to order people around, somewhat be controlling. This person could have had, even in this savvy businessman ego pride that they had inside, with the Nine of Swords in reverse, this is somebody that actually is dealing with some extreme regrets right now. Possibly because of the loss of you. This is somebody who was very insecure, faced a lot of fears. They either trying now, or they were trying when they met you to recover from some losses, financial or love or hurts or betrayals or disappointments, a broken relationship. Somebody who is in their head a lot, up a lot all night, all right? Someone who's afraid, of what's underneath, keeping things bottled deep down inside because they don't want to heal those things, face those things, deal with those things. 4-4 when I say that. Somebody that was conflicted, in a lot of conflict, maybe in their family and situations with their kids, with other people. They could have been arguing from a previous relationship, 414. They're still battling with that. They were still at odds with that person, not agreeing with people within the community. Somebody was holding a lot of aggression, had a lot of chaos, and somebody who felt like you were putting them in a position to compete for your attention, or either somebody that felt like you should compete for their attention in order to validate their ego, their pride, to make them feel worthy. All right? They wanted you to compete for them, like you had to prove your worth. Why should I choose you, 444, over someone else? Somebody who even had other people in their phone numbers and could have even had multiple children with multiple women or men, and they don't get along, okay? Somebody whose family or friends or the community around them did not like you, did not want you around. They felt they were competing against you. 505. And when I say that as well, people who had a lot of harsh words, negative tone, negative speaking, gossiping. You see, something about you. When you came into the picture, you came through with your spirituality or your religion, your tradition, whatever it was. You were traditional, you were intuitive, you know what you want, you know who you are, you have values, you have morals, you have ethics, all right, integrity for yourself. And you were wanting, or you saw at one point this King of Pentacles as someone who you thought had the same thing, that they were mirroring you, okay? What you didn't know is that it was an illusion. It was, they were just projecting 555 what you were putting out. They were watching you, observing you, seeing how you carry yourself, and they were just imitating and copying you. And so you thought that this is a good connection, we match, we vibe, and maybe even too with you being, spiritual and in tune and listening to your intuition and everything, you were willing to overlook this person's past, the people that they were around. You were looking more internally at them, their higher self, with the potential they could be. Okay? You thought, this man seems smart. He seems like he knows what he wants. They have a sense of authority about them. They're quite logical. But what you did not know is, yes, he is illogical. He does a lot of thinking. Okay, but what he's not willing to be vulnerable. He's not emotionally mature. Okay, so this is somebody who, in all their thinking and in the ego and the pride, somebody who was dealing with some depression you didn't know about, some sadness or some false positivity, somebody who was negative. They were always talking themselves or thinking that they weren't good enough, but yet they wanted to project as though you weren't good enough. 707, when I say that, they were putting onto you like, you need to gain weight. You need to lose weight. You shouldn't think like that, or you should do this. They wanted to control you. 717. But always, whenever something good was going on in your life, they couldn't just be happy for you. They really were envious and jealous. So they may, let's say you bought a home. They didn't have one. They were renting, you're owning. So it's, yeah, you paid too much for the house. Well, why you bought it in that? Oh, you gotta pay taxes. You'll never own it. It's like they couldn't just be happy for you. You buy a new car. They have to rain on that parade. You overpaid. You're paying that money, and you got to pay. It's always something. Whenever you did something good, in order to make themselves feel better, they had to underhand compliment you or throw some type of shade at you in some type of way, even go back to these people who didn't quite agree with you, or people who felt like they were competing against you because you had too much shine, too much about you. 808, they had to go back and gossip and communicate with them about you. See, this person has a lot of family drama in their life. Okay, and so what they end up doing with you, because you were intellectual, you had authority, you were logical and both emotional, all right? You know what you wanted. You're in your head, you're very smart, very intelligent, very wise, you use your discernment, all right? This person, they thought that they would play mind games with you. See, this goes back to they underestimated you. They stalled the relationship. Well, I'm not ready. Yeah, I don't know where things are going to go. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure you out. I'm trying to figure us out. Let's just give it time. They don't want to give you any type of title, any type of real commitment, anything that says, yes, I want to be with you. Because again, they need validation. They have other situations going on that didn't disclose to you. They have insecurities. They have vulnerabilities. They may even have addictions in their life. 909. So they resisted. They didn't want to sacrifice anything or release anything, thinking that there was something better out there. 919. Somebody outside of you might prove themselves to be more worthy or more beneficial to them. Okay, so needless to say, they remained undecided. What am I going to do? Happy-go-lucky. I'm just going to buy time. String this as long for as long as I can. And when they ask, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's the situation? I'm going to tell them I'm still thinking about it. But they're still entertaining other possibilities. Okay? So then we come out with they met someone else. Either they met somebody else, or they went back to someone else, or some little person, some other woman or masculine decided, I don't mind being competing. I don't mind chasing. I don't mind running behind a man, putting up with what he have, as long as I'm going to get something in the end. So they're willing to sell their soul, sell their body, sell their integrity, sell their respect, have no confidence in themselves to know that they deserve more. So they'll play the game of chaser. Okay? And so now this person has you, still trying to figure out, let me see which one looks better. And now they have a decision to make. But this is somebody that does not want to make a decision. They feel like they're stuck in the middle. They like A and they like B. I want Coke or I want Pepsi. You know what I mean? So they were blinded to the truth. They weren't looking at who was actually good for them. They're just feeling like you both had pros and cons. So they thought, I'll just solve this a little bit more. Just actually maybe even give a little more to this person because they're chasing, so they're validating my ego, my pride, whereas this other person is just kind of laying back, chilling, waiting to see, well, okay, what's going to happen. They want me to make some changes, want me to decide. So they juggled the both. They juggled Coke with Pepsi. Okay, they were juggling their priorities, maybe even, not even just in relationships, but even with their bills. I'm going to pay this bill, not this bill. I'll be late on this bill, just pay the late fee. Or, I'm going to give this one Monday through Wednesday. I'll give this person 30 minutes on Friday. I'll take this one out, spend a little money, hang out with them, chill with them. But on this one, I'll just send a good morning text and say, hey, beautiful, good morning, beautiful. Or, some people like to say, grand rising, hello, my love, or my queen, my king, that crap they put out there, okay? So this is somebody who was, what a lot of ups and downs in their life. One minute they were feeling good. If they were feeling good and in a joyful mood and they felt like partying, they went with Coke. If they were feeling like I need some attention, I need some love, I'm having a down day, I can use some uplifting, they went with Pepsi. Okay, all right? So this is what they did, and they thought that they were fine doing this, but it was not balanced. It wasn't, I'm going to have this 3 times and this 3 times. It was, I'm going to get more over here and less over here. So they thought they breadcrumb you, okay? And they thought that, well, you'll be okay with that because, again, remember, you're not toxic. You're not really complaining. You're not fussing. You're not calling them out. You're just sitting back. You're observing. And so they're thinking you're naive. They're thinking they're getting over. They think you're green. They think you don't have a clue, not knowing that you're peeping everything. You're just taking mental notes. You're just wanting to see their true self. Is what you're showing me your true authentic self, or are you just trying to get me to chase you? So you allow them to hang themselves, peep their game, watch how they move, study their moves, their behaviors, how they react, how they do. So you've studied them. You know when they're lying. You know when they're telling the truth. You know when they're anxious. You know everything because you sat back quietly, but you observed and peeped everything. And the thing about it is because you weren't calling them out on their BS, bringing to their attention that you caught every lie, peeped every game they ran, and were hip ahead of time of what they're about to do. They thought you were so gullible. They thought, man, they even laughed, they gossiped, they talked about it. I could play her, I could play him. He's stupid, he don't know. I tell him this, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. 1404 when I say that. Little did they know, right? Little did they know. So they continued to try to play, try to gaslight, to try to manipulate, thinking they're one up on you, getting over on you, fooling you by in some way, form, not seeing that you're intelligent, not knowing that, the mouse is smarter when they're quiet, when they're silent, when they move in the dark. You see, they're used to toxicity. They're used to people acting out, causing a scene, They're not used to silence. Silence is golden. Okay? So, this person eventually soon found out when your intuition, when you're your high priestess, you're intuitive, you're connected, you You work with the 5D, the 3D, supported by spirit guides, when that inner voice was telling you, let this go. They're not going to change. You're seeing who they are. When your inner voice said, you deserve more, place these boundaries, walk away, let it go, let us deal with it, all right? That's what you did. You walked away. You defended yourself. You started putting boundaries. You stood there, because this person was somebody who was never there when you were sick or wounded or needed help or assistance, never volunteered, and then a finger. They only knew you when they wanted something. But if you wanted them, you couldn't rely on them. You couldn't depend on them. So you were like, you know what? I'm doing everything on my own. I'm going to let this go. Take my time to work on whatever disappointment you gave, whatever heartbreak you gave. Deal with these lies. Realize how I may have overplayed my hand a little bit because I let you get away with a little too much without calling you out, to see who you really are. Will your words ever match your action, or vice versa? Will your actions ever match your words? All right. So I feel like one day, collective, you actually, thank you, spirit guys, you actually said what you needed to say to this person. You had that moment that hit you, that I've had enough. That was the last straw. You crossed the bridge, or this time you just did too damn much. And when you let loose with the words you had to say, let me tell you something. You told this person from A to Z in a very, very cutting, confident way. You caught this person by surprise. You really did. Because you were very confident in how you said what you needed to say. You were very intellectual when you said it. You didn't care. It was no bars hold for you. You let them know everything that you peeped from day 1 to day 29. You called out every mistake, every lie, how they didn't show up, what they didn't do, what they could have done, how they thought they're fooling you. You let them know they were manipulative. You let them know they were a liar. You let them know that they were no good. You let them know you were a cheater. You let them know that you by no means are a fool. I didn't miss a peep. I was just being kind, loving, supportive. But you went one too far. You thought you'd break me. You thought you destroyed me. You see, this person didn't expect this from you. When you did this person, they felt sick inside. They felt out in the cold. They felt broken. You broke their spirit. You really broke them down with your words. It hurt. It still hurts this person, okay? Still. They weren't used to you standing up for yourself. They weren't used to that. They were used to you being energetic, charming, loving, adventurous, They weren't used to you being assertive. They weren't used to you battling them, being battle ready for the fight, didn't care what they say. You were armed, you were guarded, and you were like, let me have it. Because it didn't matter. It didn't matter what this person said to do. This is a king. You're a high priestess. This person's not even on your level. They're not even on your level. You are so above them mentally, spiritually, emotionally. They can't outwit you. They can't outsmart you. They can't outtalk you. You see, they judged you prematurely by your glow, your shine, your love. They thought you were a fool. They thought that you were new to the game, not you mastered the game. They didn't know that. And now this person's in their head because now they're saying that when you took that time to work on yourself, to spend some time alone, to go in and undo everything that they've done, your hard work is now paying off for you. You're cultivating something. You're growing. They can see the results. They can see everything happening in your life. They see the growth in you. This confidence, how alluring. Now you're even more attractive. So that person, Now that you've completed the cycle with them and you've gone and they've been left to deal with the people that are toxic, the ones that don't mind competing, the ones that getting used, abused, the ones they're in conflict with, now that you moved on, they no longer have access, you standing your ground, your boundaries, standing up for yourself, not paying them any attention, not even caring what they have going on. This person that thought they broke you is now broken. You see, they made you stronger by testing you, trying you, pushing you to that point that you had to reach deep down in yourself and let them know that you're no fool. Not by a long shot. They thought that because you don't run in large circles, large crowds, always out and about, they thought that you were alone, by yourself, lonely. They didn't know, with you being the high priestess, you come with the strength of the 3D and with the backing, the power of the 5D, the ancestors, the universe, the heavens, the gods. They have your back. So you're never alone. You see what they can't see. You hear what they can't hear. You know what they don't know. You're many, many moons ahead of them. Many moons. All they saw was a Queen of Cups. Somebody caring, empathetic, loving, emotionally mature. They didn't see anything else. Now, this person is sitting back with the Six of Cups, having memories of you, nostalgic, looking back. Where did I go wrong? Trying to do the reflection. Well, what did she show me this before? Did he show me this before? Or why did I see this coming? Or why didn't I see that they were really confident? Like, how did I get fooled? How did I make the wrong mistake? Why did I even put them in competition? And it could be they're looking back because not only that they're doing their own reflection, but they're in this conflict, and maybe somebody even recognizing you, seeing you, okay, saying something to them, and they're saying, well, how did you mess that up? Why did you let that go? Okay, with the Five of Swords in reverse, this person now wants to come and make amends with you. They want to, they're conflicted inside. They want to end the conflict with you. They want to say, can we work this out? Can we balance this out? But in the past, this was somebody that always wanted to win the fight. They wanted to have the last word. They wanted to be the one to think that they're controlling things, maneuvering things, like they had you puppeting, and you kind of let them dead. Let's be honest, you did. Because you like peace. You like calmness. You don't do trauma. You don't do toxicity. And most importantly, 2222, you don't chase. You don't have to. Never did. Never will. It's not your thing. You don't need the attention. You don't need the limelight. You're good all by yourself. Now that fate and destiny has changed for this person, they're at a turning point. Their life is, things have turned around, as above, so below. They're experiencing heartache, guilt, conflicts, losing towers in their life, situations exploding, coming to the light, disasters, broken relationships, losing job, losing money. They're falling off the high horse. Their image is being affected. People are starting to see that this person is codependencies, addictions. This person puts on a fake mask. They're into material things. All they care about is money, material things. All right. They play too much. They're very immature. They're very hoish. All right. They don't know how to commit. They're always the victim, never the villain in every situation. All right. They have nothing but superficial relationships. They're controlled by the earthly realm. They have nothing else other than that. They wear a mask. Now that people see them for what they are, and they see you as this vivacious, independent, funny and confident person who's getting their bag, sitting on their high horse, not coming down, intuitive, know what you're talking about, balance, here 3D, AD, very knowledgeable, you're inspiring people, people are looking at you, they see, they're starting to have a negative outlook on this person. They're seeing that this person doesn't see a gift horse when they have it. They don't see, they ruin, they mess up every good thing that comes to them. They focus so much on the superficial things. and they don't understand things that are of value. This is somebody who likes quantity over quality. And this is somebody who gossips, talks bad, and bashes those things that are quality, and for some reason praises the things that are quantity. So you think it makes them look good to have, they think more, they don't understand more is less. They think more is a good thing, regardless of its quality, of its value. And while you're out here protecting yourself, you have a spirit guides out here protecting you, there is a masculine, there is someone in your life that is standing up for you, talking to you, you know, somebody who wants to come and make an offer to you, but somebody who knows this person. I feel like it's somebody that knows this person. It could be somebody in their friend group. It could be a mutual friend. It could be somebody you know, but somebody is calling this person out on their behaviors, their patterns, their addictions, what they did, talking to this person, let them know, man, you choose wrong. You messed up. You need to go and apologize. You need to go and try to fix that. That was the best thing you ever had. You should have let that go. They're trying to make this person feel optimistic that possibly you would forgive them. Possibly if they tell you, I'm sorry, if they come passionately with that love language, charming you, that maybe they can get back on your good side, you'll make things better, you'll balance things out, because now they see you as this empress. They see you as this great mother, creative, abundant, knowledgeable, discernment, wisdom, have your own, don't need anything, the world is loving you, you're fertile, you're manifesting everything that you want. You're grounded, you're at balance, your peace, your happiness, your love. Now they even looking at the fact that you manifest in their little head. Their little head is turning in the background. You know what? This person has some skills. This person has some talent. This person knows a lot. They're very knowledgeable. I can go on business with this person. We can make money together. We could start something. We could build something. See, they're not really, we could be stable. Now you are stable. Now you have value. Now you're worth their time and energy. Even though they still have this stuff going on in the background, their mind is on you. Because they're not even focused on how they hurt you. They're not focused on what they did to betray you, that you no longer trust them, the mistakes they made, because they want to sweep all of that under the rug. What they see is you know how to get the bag. And you out here doing it all on your own. This is somebody that had to work with other people, use other people, be an opportunist to other people, try to see what they can get from other people, and still don't even have what you have in you. The one that was naive, gullible, don't know anything, the easy mark. You out here doing 10 times better than them. 10 times smarter, more intelligent, intellectual. Now they're looking like, how can I make this work for me? It's not going to work, because judgment is out here. You see, the universe is not even going to allow them. They're at a distance. They can't communicate with you. They can't reach you. They can't talk to you. All they can do is reflect. And what they're reflecting on with judgment being out here is not how they showed up right, because they didn't. They're reflecting on how they showed up wrong, incomplete, unhealed. How they try to play you, manipulate you, be dishonest, tell lies, play games behind your back, thinking that you don't know anything, It's the things they did in the dark when no one was looking. They're looking at how they have multiple relationships, how they were having one night stands, offering people, taking them on dates, doing things for them that they never did for you. Even with you being the empress, even if you had children from this person, if you were pregnant, they weren't there for you. If you gave birth, they weren't at the hospital, left you there alone, left you to fend for yourself while they hook up with other people, and maybe even showed up as a father figure for people who didn't even have kids from them, but just had children because they saw them as maybe on their level. They didn't have to compete. They weren't envious. They weren't jealous of them, or maybe they thought they can get something out of that person. But yet, with the children that they do have, they weren't doing the damn thing for it. 2909 when I say that. But again, this person put the image out that they're a great provider, they're a great parent, they're a great partner, they're supportive. It's all an image. It's all a false image. This is a insecure person trying to look like a bully. This is a person with fears trying to act like they're confident with a lot of pride and ego. This is a person that gets in and out of superficial relationships, one night stands that don't work because they don't want to be alone. They can't be alone by themselves without being lonely because they don't even like the person they have to see in the mirror when they look in the mirror. They're riddled with addictions. They're riddled with past traumas that they haven't healed. They're riddled with trying to compete against people. They're riddled with the insecurities of not having enough. And how dare you collective, you who could be a single mother, one child, two child, however many kids, you who's holding down a job, a family, raising it, being both mother, father, landlord, worker, business owner, carrying the bag, paying the bills, doing the yard, doing everything on your own, one little single individual, and this person who thinks they're a king, who thinks they have pride and ego, who thinks that they're the big boss, what do they have? What do they have? No integrity, no respect, no value. They have nothing but a long list of people they laid up. They're either a community dick or a community you know what. That's it. All they can provide is a long list of people that they slept with even a longer list of parts they left behind once they got bored with those people. And then stories of how they were the victim in these relationships based off of all lies, accepting no accountability, with probably 25 kids running around with different women, 3113, teaching them what? No morals, no values, no ethics. They're not a good role model. They're not a mentor. Because with them, it's quantity, over quality. So what does this person do? What do they do? Because this is somebody who, gets little odds in jobs or either does something illegally to obtain their money or either milk off of other people, get other people to provide for them. But this is somebody who does not really want a strong partner who's independent, because that triggers them. That triggers their insecurities. This is somebody who needs someone who makes them feel needed. Well, I can't do this. Well, I can't fix this. Well, I need help. I can't pay this bill. Somebody who, when they do something, they feel like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man because I did this. And then they'll brag about it. Brag about it. What they did for someone. Well, see, that's the problem. And that's one of the things you probably peeps about this person. Why, for every little thing that you do you need an audience? Or do you need to post? Or that you need to tell, I did this. I gave the homeless man $2 today. Okay, good. You did it. Collective. You do kind things for the community all the time. You don't speak on it. You don't talk about it. You don't need the validation. You don't need someone to give you praise for doing what you did. You do what you do because you do it from the heart and you expect nothing in return, and you don't mind being a silent person in the background. You don't need the recognition. 3303. This person needs it. Every little thing they do, every little act of kindness, they have to brag about it, talk about it, so everyone can cheer them on. Oh, it's such a great, because it's all a false image. It's an image they want to portray. But this is really somebody who likes to party, hang out with the crowd, be on the scene, get the limelight, be the one at the party that either come in as the best dressed or, with the most alcohol, or I'm going to supply the substance or whatever. You see, this is somebody who likes to sit back and watch people, study people, observe people, see who's going to be their next mark, their next victim. They may even stalk you on Facebook or your social media or your pages to see what you're up to, watching you. This is somebody who also is looking to see what you're doing in the background or what your next move are, because they want to compete against you. This is somebody that has a lot of random hookups. Possibly not even a place to live. They're from pillar to post. They don't own a home. All right, they lay up where they can, and they don't really take pride in where they're staying. I'm also feeling like you have somebody, too, who's a hoarder. Okay? I think that somebody hoards people, holds possessions. They probably have like a storage rooms, storage places, units, or rooms filled, cluttered with things because they can't let go. Because this is somebody that does not know how to let go, move on, and release because they need things around them. This person has a lot of useful junk in their yard, in their garage, at their storage unit, wherever they can store it. To just hold on to things. But this person's getting justice. Justice is being served. They're either dealing with some karma. Like I said, they want to reach back out now, but they can't. Spirit guides won't allow them to. They're facing conflicts, towers, endings in their life. All because people that they've hurt out of passion, people who gave their hearts that they used, abused, and threw away, kicked to the curb, cheated on, emotionally betrayed. Once they were done getting all they could. People that, in a person like this, let me tell you. A person like this, they don't give closure. They won't give it. This is somebody that they can mess up, but they were trying to twist the narrative and make it sound as though you did, or want you to think as though it's something that you did, you caused this, you brought this on. Well, the reason I don't call you is because you the last time you said this, you said that. I mean, it's like immature behavior, and they never give closure. They just think that they're going to punish you by maybe, I won't talk to them for 2 weeks. I won't call them. I won't text them. I'm going to let them sit there because I don't like what they said. So, it's like they're training you or something. I'm going to let them sit there and not talk to them. I'm going to leave them in their feelings for 2 weeks to feel bad about what they said, so that next time I do something wrong, they won't dare have the audacity to call me out on it, because they'll learn that if you call me out on something that I do wrong, I'm going to punish you by being silent for about a month or two. You'll be so glad to hear from me. When you do hear from me, you'll think twice about ever calling me out on my BS again. And this works for some women, and this works for some men. Because then they won't speak out of fear. They walk on eggshells. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to say something because they don't want you to get on a silent treatment, or they don't want you to say, okay, well, you do you, I do me, or, you go here, I go there. They don't want to hear that. So they feel like, I'm just not going to say nothing. So they sit with that pain and hurt, and they sit there for those 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks and wonder, are they going to speak today? And maybe even if they pick up the phone to text or call, that person will purposely look at it and ignore them, because they feel like, yeah, that's what they want you to do. They want you to chase them. They want you to validate. They want you to beg for their attention. No, not a collective. Not my collective. Not my soldiers. My angels. Not my chosen ones. You don't care. You don't care what kind of substance, what type of drug, poison they're on. You don't care how many lies they tell you, what they hide from you, You don't care if they married, not married, or who they're sleeping with, how they're stalking your webpage, or whoever they're stalking on their webpage. You don't give 3 craps about who they're dating. You don't care anything about their ego, the people they hang with, who they're meeting up with, or their codependent relationships, their toxic relationships that they need. You don't even care how they feel on the inside, because you were a gift to them. You know your worth. You know your value. You're not going to play those games. Go on with that. Go on with that. You see, collective, you're smart enough to know. You're wise enough to know. This is not your daddy. This is not your mother. This person can't punish you. You're a grown woman or a grown man. How dare they think, I'm going to reprimand you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you. No, collective, you reverse that. You play, no, I'm going to show you. You don't intimidate me. You don't bully me. You cannot correct me. You see, the only person that can reprimand me is the Father above, God Almighty. Because I know that when He reprimands me, it's for my growth, for me to learn, for me to evolve, not for His selfish reasons. So you moved on. You walked away. Now this person's in a tailspin, wondering, dealing with karmic debt, in a relationship with somebody who doesn't support them, may even had a kid that they don't even know if the child is theirs. They're missing you. They're missing communication with you. You're not returning messages, or you're not communicating with them because they emotionally sabotaged you. They aimed for you. They triggered you. They came for you. They used harsh words against you. They played you. They didn't care about how you felt. They self-sabotage this out of their own jealousy, and they're trying to cover it up behind this mask to act like they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. I tell you, this person didn't act alone. You know, they had a partner in this crime. Somebody that was for them, doing what they did. Somebody that would cover up for them. You know, even maybe sometimes when they come and see you, they never came alone. Or a few minutes after they come and see you, after they spend there about maybe 20, 30 minutes, they have somebody text them, call them, and say, hey, you know, I need you to do so-and-so. And they tell you, hey, I gotta go. Can't stay long. Gotta go. They had somebody working with them. You know, somebody who thinks like them, vibes with them. Somebody who validates what they're doing instead of telling them, man, you're wrong. Or girl, you're wrong. You don't need to do that, you know? Now this person's thinking about how you actually felt like home to them. They see you as a manifester, as being abundant and at peace, even on your own, by yourself, happy, doing the damn thing. They see your energy, you know, how energetic you are, your spirit. And now they're hating the fact that they may have neglected you, mentally, emotionally, or physically abused you. Why you going on this journey without them and they can't go with you because they destroyed it with their foolishness? Now they want to say, I didn't mean it. It was an accident. I didn't mean it, because they're feeling broken, destroyed, trapped in whatever situations they have. Some of them facing legal trouble, some of them in jail. They face with all these regrets, can't sleep at night because now they have to carry all of this emotional baggage around with them and trying to have somebody else support them because they can't do it on their own. They can't stand alone. They feel weak in the knees. They may have health problems going on, but they're keeping it a secret how much they're missing you and how much they feel dead, how they feel like they caused this ending, how they regret the fact that you want nothing to do with them because they try to manipulate you, and now you're listening to your intuition, your higher self, and you're making moves by yourself. Now they see you as being knowledgeable, as wise, as something rare, something different. You're mysterious to them. It's something about you they don't understand it, but they're intrigued. But you have nothing to say. As a matter of fact, they're choked up and don't know what to say to you because they know that you're healed and they still need to heal. Your ancestors are watching over you, guiding you on your path. You're listening to them, going for your opportunities, not caring about what they're doing. You know, you've elevated, you've rise, you've transformed, you've healed, you've evolved. And this person's still sleeping around, having nightmares and dreams, fantasizing about you. The only place they can see you is in their head. They may be trying to telepathically communicate with you or come to you in a dream state. They're thinking about what life would have been like had they committed to you, had they married you, had they made an offer to you. They would be at peace. But because they didn't, now you've sailed on without them and you at your peace and you're stuck back here. They want to say some sweet words to you to try to get you back into their life, hoping you invite them to your house. Now they even want to try to contribute instead of take from you. But it's nothing they can say. You don't trust them. You see them as opportunists, a manipulator. And they're trapped. They're trapped in their head. They're trapped in their thoughts. They're trapped in a situation they feel like they can't get out of. Even though they have a lot of passion for you, they're trapped in another connection that's smothering the hell out of them. They want to get out of, but they can't. They feel like the walls are caving in on them. Everybody's throwing dirt on their name. They want to cover something up, but they can't. Because this person now is realizing that they're narrow-minded. They only had tunnel vision. You're out here wanting somebody who, a family person, you know. You want a family. This person may even lied about a family situation that they had going on. They've started family somewhere else, but they're smothered in it. They don't want to be there. They're still cheating on that family dynamic. This person may have a lot of family drama, family conflicts going on, family issues. And you even thinking about the fact that I myself, I don't even want to be trapped in that family dynamic. You don't want to be there. That's why you left. They don't even want to be there. They want to leave. Yeah. Sometimes when this person sit back and think about how well you're doing, how you left them, and how they're trapped in a situation they don't want to be in. There's no love, there's no support. It's based off financial money. They're spending more money than they have coming in. They feel like it's the depth of them. They're smothering. There's no way they can get out of it because they into something that is just, it would take too much to get out, and they don't even know how to get out, and where would they go, and how would they make it if they did get out. They think about sometimes even wanting to get revenge on you, and they may get revenge on you. Let me tell you something. This type of person, if they reach out to you and you reject them, oh, how quickly these loving words that they want to say to try to get that second chance, when you say no, when you run from the idea of healing the relationship with them and building a family with them, when you say, I'm sorry, it's over, this person then they're going to turn on you. You're going to be all kind of B's and H's. You're going to be, oh, you ain't all that, you ain't this, you ain't got nothing. Oh, they're going to show you a side of them that you haven't seen. You haven't seen. It's going to be how quickly they show themselves once they're faced with rejection. You see, the whole thing goes down to they thought they were destroying you. They were teaching you a lesson for not chasing them, for calling them out on their stuff, for mirroring to them what they needed to heal, for seeing who they really are beneath the mask. So they thought, how dare you? I'll teach you. I'll show you. I'll punish you. And what they did only made you stronger. Only made you stronger. If this resonated with you, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. How did this person try you? What did you do to stand up for yourself? Or simply comment boundaries. It's Marie, sending you my love and my blessings.